Peace reflection.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're going to do this again, once again. I have to go over this, the real resurrection. I did it twice to be exact. I did it twice, and somehow it's getting deleted from my Facebook. For some reason, they not letting this information get through. So what I'm gonna ask of you, once y'all get it, download it if you can, and go ahead and repost it and share it, because they deleting it from my Facebook. So I'm gonna go through it again. It flowed through me, so I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna try to recall it and bring it back and resurrect it. And so, yeah, we're gonna talk about the real resurrection in this day and time, and we definitely want you to share this video. Definitely share it. I'm gonna try to download it as soon as I'm done. So if they pull it again, I can go ahead and post it up again. I was gonna do it a pre-record, but then it's better if it just flows through me, and I have my reflections here with me. So talking about the real resurrection, first of all, before I even go in, I want to give a special thanks to Nature Boy. You can find him on Nature Boy TV. He, how I call it, resurrected me from the dead, from the mentally dead, and so as he does in every dimension. And so as I was sitting there as a mummy, right? Because that's a mummy actually represents our DNA, and that's why they wrap it up, they wrap it around, and they take out the organ to preserve the cells. So that's why after thousands of years, the hair still remains, the nails grow longer, because there's DNA there, right? And then they leave a lot of their jewels around, right? And because they knew that day and time will come, that we will resurrect, and our see what I mean? So where were we, right? So actually, it represents our DNA. They call it the mummy. They wrap it up and they put it in the tomb, because your DNA is all knowing. It has all the information. Actually, it's passed from generation to generation, from mother to mother, actually. Tracy Meeks, Kelly Dominguez, Kansas, I see you. And so when we wake up in consciousness, right, it is a certain time, and you have the pyramid. The pyramid actually represented the prism. When the light hits the prism, when the light hits your nervous system, and it breaks up into different frequencies and vibration of consciousness. And so we wake up in consciousness when the best is when the planets get in alignment, and it happens every thousands of years or so. You have a moon cycle and a sun cycle. A moon cycle lasts about 6,000 years, right? And that's the expansion of the universe, right? And so when the universe expands, then you receive less rays from the sun. And when you really see less rays from the sun, you have less vitamins, and a lot of mutations happen on the planet during this time. It's like a winter time. Everything goes to sleep. And just like we mentally, we go to sleep. And so when the universe contracts back in, it's like you taking a breath, because your body is a universe as well. It's like when you breathe in, everything expands. That's just like the universe. When you breathe out, everything contracts. Right now is the contraction, so everything is moving. The universe is moving closer to the sun, right? Electromagnetically, everything is held into place, positive and negative charges. So it moves. Well, okay, we're having a little technical difficulties here with the signal. So I'm gonna just stand right over here. And where was I? So what we have is when the universe contracts back in, right? This is like my third time doing this video, and Facebook been taking it off. So bear with me. And so when the universe contracts back in, we receive more codes from the sun, and so we start to become more conscious, right? And even though the sun is most potent by the equator, in the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, that's where you get most of these signals. The further you are away from these codes, right, the less you get them. As the further you go out, especially if you're living in big cities, you know, big cities, they spraying you chemtrails, you know, so you won't wake up. They knew there was going to be a time that the mummies will wake up, and we waking up. Oh, we back. I know we getting interrupted by Imhotep. We getting interrupted, but you know what? I'm gonna keep going. You'll just bear with me, and I'll keep going. I just want to keep from where I left off at. So we're going through this contraction period, right? And we have the further you're away from the tower, the less code you get. It's like, you know, like your cell phone. Your body is a emitter. It receives and emits consciousness, is what it is. It receives and emits consciousness. We're conscious. We're radio. We're a vehicle for God to speak through. That's what you are, consciousness. However, this vehicle has been tampered with by the lower self. And so what they do is they tamper your water. They mess with your air. See, oxygen is the 4 major elements is needed, right? So this vehicle could operate as its full capacity. It's a biological, your body's a biological supercomputer. And it needs the 4 major elements, right, to operate at its premium. Now, we've been taken out of our natural environment, and we was put into a forced environment, a forced simulated environment. We call it Babylon. You can call it wherever there's no trees. Just look around. If you don't see no trees, right, you're in a Babylon simulated environment where they destroy nature, they take nature, and they recreate their society by using certain parts of nature, metals, trees, minerals from the earth, and they reproduce this forced environment. And it becomes toxic. Poor oxygen levels, you know, you don't have no trees, they put in concrete, so you're not getting enough oxygen to the brain. Oxygen is needed for the brain to interpret your reality. Water, they have fluoride in your water. You're bathing in water. Oh, you don't drink it? Okay, you're bathing in water. Your body absorbs at least a gallon, and it goes in through your pores every time you bathe. So what we're saying is you're being poisoned. When you're the universe and you're coming out the universe, when you come out as a small universe, what they do is they give you milk. Milk has parasites, it's pus, right? And these parasites slows down your body frequency. It slows down your mental activity. This is a known fact, man. Go into Google. This is the information age. You can find all this information. However, we don't have time to, because you're working so hard, right? And we'll go into that a little bit. But we just want to let you know the tricks that they're doing, because they know during this contraction period where we're getting these codes from the sun, they're trying to block us off from receiving these codes because we're waking up to who and what we are. And when you realize who and what you are, you figure out, you know, that the 4 elements your body needs, right, to use your brain properly. Once you learn your astrological energies, you could find out what elements you're lacking in, right? You might have 2 elements in your chart. That's how your energy, that's how your energy, you need the 4 major elements, right? And so you need these elements. And you ain't getting them, not getting them in Babylon. It's a trap. As soon as you come out, Babylon is a cancer. So when we're waking up, we're trying to wake up in this contraction period, and we're in a cancer environment. Cancer environment, that the first thing they do as a child, they give you freaking they give you cow milk. The only species that takes away the mother's milk naturally and gives another animal DNA to a baby. A small universe. And then they tell you what reality is. They program you with their mind. So they send you to school for like your first 25 years. You're getting educated by a European mentality, which we call a cancer. And later on, we'll talk about how you're projecting the inside out. So actually, everything you see, you're projecting it from your mind. So if you have cancer on the outside here, and you have some organism, that is not in tune with nature, that's cutting down the trees, and which we get oxygen from, where we get our food from, and destroying nature, and they doing away with it, that's a cancer. And then they control you by sending you to school and programming you with cancer. It's called cloning. It's like a spiritual cloning, right? Spirit just means energy. You know how they clone, right? They take a cell and they remove the nucleus out of the cell, right? And then they can grab anybody else's nucleus and they implant it. That's called a cloning. They're doing the same thing but spiritually, right? They send you to school, right? And then they give you food that's going to slow your mental down, your mental capacity down, and then by feeding you parasites, food that has parasites, animal meat, which we ain't supposed to be eating, and that converts, it blends in with your RNA, and then you start thinking like the animal. You have thoughts like the animal, right? So they use this, and then they implant their mentality, their education system, right? So you actually think you're this personality, but you're really not. You really think you came into this world to be a job? Nah. Peace, Deborah. Nah, you ain't come to this world to be a job. You ain't come here to be a police officer, a taxi cab driver, a doctor, a lawyer. That's not why you beamed down. Well, that's not why melanated beings beam down here. We're melanated. We this color because we're from the earth, right? We're in tune with the earth. It's melanin, the physical manifestation of light. We came down here, we beamed down here to become consciously aware that we're living inside of our own body. This is our body, inside. We're living inside of our own body. Yeah, inside. You was inside of a body, what you call your mother, for 9 months, and then you came came out, and you're still inside of a bigger body. If you get that. And so you come to the conscious awareness that the body has cancer and you're the immune cell. And when you came up in the cancer environment, and they've been indoctrinating you with their mind by sending you to shul, to school. Shul is a Hebrew word for hell, right? So they putting you in hell by giving you their mindset. Is a way of cloning nowadays, and they perfected this shit to a science, because they already know how the mind works. They subliminally give you television, PlayStations, things that play out when you interpret it. Your subconscious mind, it just picks up, it radiates from 15 or 20 feet, and it picks up every signal. Every light signal, electrical, magnetic signals, actually reflected back from yourself, because you're reflecting this reality out and it's reflecting back to you, and you're interpreting it through your astrological energy. Right? Everybody has the astrological energy of the way they perceive light. depending on the times, the month that you was creating this reality, right? Because each planet has certain characteristics and personalities, and when you're in the womb, you're inside of a universe, and your chakras or your glands, right, are the same thing that gives out these same signals. So when you're in there and you come out, you're fixed on a certain mind, the mind of God, right? So your astrological energy, that's how you perceive it. And you can ascend certain aspects of your astrological energy, certain challenges or debilitation, as they call it, because the way light refracts and squares, and it probably squares off to a shadow, and it's just something you have to, you can find out and transcend that, to let the energy flow through you, because you're all-knowing being. And so when you allow this energy to flow through, what happened is you're waking up some ancient genes inside you that knows all things. Like your subconscious picks up everything since you was a child. Not only when you were a child, but from your parents, through the mitochondrial DNA. And you can have access to that information. Now, to have access to that information, you need to receive the four major elements. You receive the four major elements in your natural environment, which is in the tropics. The Cancer will not let you, they will not tell you, because that's how they control. That's their control. They're here to destroy. And you're the immune system, but you don't fight cancer with cancer. You don't, oh, let's go. No, you leave cancer. You don't give cancer your energy. Most people get in dis-ease by what they eat. Genes, your genes, if you can have a cancer gene, that doesn't mean it's going to be red. It's red if your body vibration becomes low enough to where those genes could be red, and it could thrive in an acidic environment. It's what you're eating is why you're getting sick. Is that milk and that animal meat, which actually is, every animal has its function in the body. You have certain microorganisms, they have a function in the body to keep a balance, the ecosystem in balance. Just like out here on Earth, you have animals that keep everything in balance. And you starting to eat those animals thinking it's food. Because we've been trained by what we call the European mentality, because they're the ones who educate us, right? On, they came in, they brought their animals with them, and we started eating like them, right? And so we started thinking like them. And so you eat like them, you think that like them, you're them. Color doesn't matter anymore. It's a mentality. Color does not matter. It's how you think. If you're a being, and let's say you wrote all these books on information, if I read your information and I put it in my being, and I start acting it, living it, then I'm you. I'm a copy of you. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give back that mentality back to the European mentality and get back in contact with nature, because nature has an electromagnetic field. You call it an aura. You have one too. And the earth is all knowing. It's been here. And the trees, we get oxygen from the trees. The trees are alive. And it has information. It wants to communicate with you. And all we have to do is connect back. Connect our feet right here on the ground. And we are connected. Electromagnetic. We are connected. We have to eat food that comes through the process of photosynthesis. That's what your biological, organic supercomputer does. This is liquid light. Liquid light. Why? Because it's processed from the sun. And the minerals come up from the root. And this is ether. And this is what your body runs off of. This is along with oxygen, You have sun, the four elements, the earth, the minerals from the earth, and water. That's what the body runs off. That's what your supercomputer runs off of. Because you are the universe. And you're waking up. And they're going to try their best right now to distract you. They're going to try their best to keep you up in a simulated, in Babylon's simulated environment. And we should be waking up and leaving. It's a prison. They already know you're going to get sick. You're not going to retire. By the time that happens, you're going to be sick by the toxic air. You're breathing in carbon monoxide. You're breathing in millions of cars, the tires that burn. You're breathing that in. You're going into air conditioning. You're breathing in Freon. They got it rigged. They got it rigged so you couldn't get sick at a certain age. And you think, oh, I'm going to retire and I'm going to do this for the rest of my days. Nah, they got that rigged too. Because they already took a cell and put it in a petri dish and they already simulated the environment and they already know what's going to happen to that cell. When your cell's supposed to reproduce immortally in the right conditions. They called it the fountain of youth back in the days. The conquistadors came to this part of the world in Central America and they saw people that was 90, 100 years old, looking like they was 30, 40 years old, and they thought there was water out there and they was going all crazy looking for this fountain of youth. And the fountain of youth was how you eat. But they came with their animals, their cows, their pigs. We didn't eat that shit. And now they know who you are. Now they know that melanin is the physical manifestation of light, ether. The sun is a converter of dark matter, of ether into the physical light, into the physical spectrum of light, from 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers. So you can see, but melanin absorbs the whole spectrum of light and interprets it, so we can interpret nature. This is what the pyramids was all about. The pyramid was a prism. Your body is a prism. You are a smaller diagram of the universe, trying to communicate with yourself, other universes, which is you. We are the same. What makes us appear different is our DNA and our astrological energy, which makes us appear different. However, consciously, you have this planetary alignment that's happening where the planets line up in a line, right? And when it lines up in a line, you have energy that could flow through straight without being bounced off from any other planet, and you can get that consciously direct. Ooh. Yeah, I'm back. Where we left off at? Connecting back to nature. You're the universe. Your nervous system needs to get laid out on nature, because you have your electromagnetic field. When you eat food from nature, then you vibrate on nature's vibration. So we need to connect back to nature. Your electromagnetic field, your aura, also called your subconscious, emanating through your subconscious mind, which is the heart, because the mind is an extension of the heart. Thank you, nature boy. And so it emanates. And when we merge our minds, merge our hearts on that same vibration, it becomes a beacon. It becomes a lighthouse. You become a pharaoh. The name for a pharaoh meant lighthouse, because you become a beacon, the lighthouse that sits so the lost ships at sea can see where home is at. And so you emitting this light, this consciousness. So the lost selves that's out in sea can see where's home at. That's what we came here for. That's why you beamed into this realm. Not to be no doctor, no lawyer, no. You beamed down here to become consciously aware that there's a mutation that happened in every universe is connected to the next universe. They intertwine. Every galaxy is intertwined into the next galaxy. So if one universe is out of order, imbalanced, then it affects the rest. And so we have an imbalance in this universe cosmically, and it's playing out physically as the cancer on the planet, the ones who destroying society. They bring in their cows, which we ain't supposed to eat, and you know how much land a cow needs to eat, and how they messing up the ozone layer just with their fecal matter. And they take up most of the land that people could be growing crops in. And they're using these cows because they know they have parasites. Yeah, parasites are trying to survive too. They the aliens that's inside your body. People like, oh, aliens this, aliens that. The alien is your ass eating something that ain't supposed to be in there. So when it goes inside your organic system, it's alien to your system, and it just starts eating away at cells and hijacking cells and giving you thoughts outside of yourself, and you become a cancer, and you start destroying for money. Money's made out of cotton and linen. So you're destroying the planet for cotton and linen. Yeah, they got us fucked up. However, to fight cancer, you leave cancer. You leave Babylon. You could bail yourself out of prison right now. You take those Babylon bucks, add them up. You got Google, the best friend right now. You can find out anywhere in the tropics where you want to go and what you could do. And what you have to do, the best thing to do is wake up. Once you wake up, to wake up the rest of yourselves. That's what it's about. And you'd be surprised how nature, how when your electromagnetic field flows in with nature, you'd be surprised how nature, the higher self, knows what you need and electromagnetically attracted to you just by thought. However, they have our thoughts all messed up by MNF's man-made frequencies. You know, they have all these electrical wires going through these buildings made out of metal, which makes it that much lethal, and it affects your subconscious mind because you emit your own electromagnetic field. You have microwaves, you have Wi-Fi's, you have all these other man-made frequencies. MMF. And so you have that going on, and they know what they're doing. You have CERN, you know, this electromagnetic machine that sends out waves out. So yeah, we're working behind the 8 ball, but we're here, we're waking up, and so it's real. And you have this you have this planetary alignment that's going to happen, that's happening, right? And when these planets move, right, and when conscious can actually come through, and we can receive it when we're ready and we prepared, that starts by cleaning your blood. That's why they say, oh, it's all about the blood. It's all about the blood, because your consciousness is in your blood. You have your blood has 70% of water. It's a conductive electricity. Water's a conductive electricity, and you have your cells. And when you eat right, and you're in the right environment where you can receive all the right elements, then you raise in vibration, and then you activate certain genes in your body that knows it all. You want to know something, you lay down and you come to the earth, you get it. Oh, I never knew that. And you just know. It comes like that. I'm telling you, it comes like that. And the ancients, the Egyptians knew about it. They even built a big monument of pyramids, right? So you wouldn't forget. It's a prism. The way light hits it, and the way it reflects like a helix. It's funny how the helix looks like the DNA strand. And the mummy, they preserved the mummy for the cells. The cells, they can get the cells right now, right? And I'm sure they're doing it. If I could think about it, they're doing it. They could take the cell from the hair, from the mummy, Oh, we found Pharaoh such and such, and they'll take a little bit of hair, they take the DNA out, and they try to grow it, right? They'll get an egg, and they remove that nucleus, implant the nucleus from the mummy, right? And so it'll have the same DNA. So and then they grow it in trying to get the mind of it. That's what the lower self is up to. So they try to clone, they're doing a cloning process by interrupting your receptors. See, they don't even have to pull out, the heart is a nucleus, right? They know they ain't, the heart is a nucleus, but they can also use the mind, and they dull the mind up with certain foods and certain frequencies, and then they feed you their system. Since you're a baby, go to school, boom, you're going to work. You work for 8 hours, now 16 hours probably, to make ends meet, whatever they call it. You're sleeping for 8 hours. When are you going to have time to become conscious? Then they give you PlayStation, motherfuckers playing PlayStation all their fucking life. And shit's going down. Your melanin it's being sold out of market for $350 a gram. Yes, a gram. $350 a gram melanin. Is a super conductor of energy, ether, in physical form. And they locking you in. They ain't even building a damn wall in Mexico to keep your ass in. You think it's about keeping the Mexican. Nah, they like the Mexican. Mexicans come in, they work, and they bust their ass. Nah, it's so you won't leave. You feel me? And then you go get sick, you go to the hospital, and they take it out your blood. The babies are born, they take it out of the placenta. Planned Parenthood, they take it from the baby. Google it, man. This shit is real. We ain't playing. This shit is real. That's why we broadcasting this information so you can get it, because the shit is real. And you should be getting your Babylon bucks, getting with people who think like you, and get on that same frequency and say, yo, we got to get out of here. Don't get scared, because shit, we did it. That's why we broadcasting, because we saying we did it, and it's good. And then cancer will destroy their own self, and you in your natural environment. And like I was saying before, when these planetary planets align, you have a gravitational pull of the sun, right, on the Earth. The Earth is on a 23-degree axis, so it will pull it. Right? And when it pulls on the Earth, you have plate tectonics that's going to be shifting. They shift. So you have catastrophes that happen. They all knew this. No one knew it. Even the Bible, no one. He took 2 of every animal, right? Of every cell, because he knew he had 76 trillion cells inside the body. Each cell is a living being. And you have other organisms inside your body. Just like you have animals out here that they take care of the ecosystem. You have microorganisms inside the body that take care of that system. So it wasn't that he was taking 2 of every animal and putting it on this outside boat. No, it was his internal boat. This vehicle is a ship. And he got the message and was like, yo, I'm going to take every being I have inside me with the microorganism, and I'm dipping. Where I gotta go, he got the codes from the sun. Oh, over here? Okay, I got you. Birds know it. They know when to fly fucking south for the winter. Animals are keen on it. We're the only ones that's not in tune with nature, because we've been taken out of nature. We've been, it's been mutations, and we've been living in the mind of that mutation. You feel? So yes, they knew it. No one knew it. It sounds kind of, now it makes sense. And right now, if you go to epigenetics, they'll let you know that every cell in your body is a living being. And so what you're going to do, you find out they're poisoning your air, right, your oxygen, right? And so all the cells that you're responsible for, the community of cells inside your body you're responsible for, is like you taking your child and giving your child a cigarette. Hey, smoke this. Oh, they thirsty? Give them a drink. You're not going to do that to your baby, right? So why would you do it to the 76 trillion cells that's living inside your body? That helps keep you alive or helps keep you functioning. Why would you do that? You got to love yourself. These are for those that love themselves. This information, people going to wake up and be like, yo, that shit is right. They been feeding you freaking parasites since day one. Milk from day one, from a cow. That's what cows babies, calves. You were supposed to get the breast milk. That's DNA. From the mother, the best milk you can get. That's where we at. Raised up in consciousness that we inside of our own body and our body have cancer. And in the process, coming to realize that you are God and you created this. And the vehicle you made was so you could experience your own creation. Why would you create all this if you can't experience it? I want the human experience. So you're having the human experience. Tricked yourself, fooled yourself, I want to experience this. But you had an alarm clock to go off at a certain time, right? When the certain planets or certain stars hit, in this contraction time, is your alarm clock that's going off. So the alarm clock is going off. Ooh, can't you hear it? Beep, beep, beep. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, man. It's real. That shit is poison and they're killing you. You think you're going to work for 30 years and retire off into the sunset? No, the rest of those years, you're going to be running to the hospital because your vehicle's fucked up. They got a lot of distraction. They work 24/7. The devil, the lower self, the mutation being, they working 24/7 to keep you asleep. They spending billions of dollars to keep you asleep. And now in this sun cycle, they need melanin so they could make it through this sun cycle. If they're not going to get in tune, all they got to do is get in tune with nature. You can stay under the sun is going to be the justice. If you can't live under the sun, you don't belong under the sun. You don't belong on the planet if you can't stay under the sun without getting freaking burnt. You only get burnt because you're eating not from the sun. You're going against nature. And we got to wake up. Yeah, I know it's rough. Sometimes you're going to wake up before the next one, before your partner wakes up. And you got to love yourself enough to say, no, I'm out. Because we are attached. We get attached. And so you might be waking up in consciousness, but your partner not waking up in consciousness. It's still down on a different vibration. Family is vibration. What you call friends is because you're vibrating on the same vibration. You like the same things. However, maybe she likes going out to party. You wake up and be like, you know what? I'm done with partying. You know what? I ain't even. So you don't even become friends no more because you don't even do the thing that you used to do because you grew. Some people can't grow. Some people can't grow because of astrological energies that permit them, or they might be here on karmic purposes. Some fucked up shit they did their last previous life.